Hello. All right, so this is a video to help out the Half Size Me community and the moderators of the community, because I notice when we get new members, one of the very first big questions that I see is, how do I figure out my calories? I'm totally lost. I need help. So we're going to break it down for you right here, all in one place. So whether you're super resistant to tracking calories, you're like, you know what, don't want to weigh and measure, don't want to do this, don't want to do that, I'm just going to give you the kind of timeline and actions to take to figure this out. So step one, on your calendar, block out 2 weeks of time. So whenever you're watching this, jump 14 days ahead, mark that. For the first 2 weeks, I want you to eat like you normally eat, whatever that is. If it's McDonald's, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it doesn't matter. Eat whatever you normally eat and track it either in a notebook, track it in MyFitnessPal, track it in Lose It, track it wherever you want to track it. So that way you get to see what your eating looks like right now. Now, if you're tracking calories, if you want to go that route, you're not resistant to that, you're willing to do it, you would go ahead and after that 2 weeks, add up all your calories for that 14 days, divide it by, add it up, divide by 14. That's going to give you your average. Now, while you're doing this for the 2 weeks, if you are not super resistant to weighing yourself, you can also get the Happy Scale app. You can weigh yourself every day, and over the course of the 14 days, you're going to see what happens with your weight. So let's just say Jane watches this video. She does exactly what I say. She eats for 14 days. She finds her average caloric intake is 3,000. She looks at her weight. Her weight on day one was 220. Today it's 220.5. She would guesstimate that she is averaging her maintenance calories at the 3,000 mark, right? So now what this person can do going into the next phase, which is week 2, if this person already knows their maintenance calories, they could take a caloric deficit. If they don't, let's just say she'd eaten 5,000 average calories, she had gained a couple pounds. Her next move would be step 2 to find maintenance calories. So if you lost weight, that's not maintenance calories. If you gained weight, that's not maintenance calories. So your goal is to find your maintenance calories. So you can go, and I provide tons of this information. If you go to the Diet Fix calculator, there's one there. There's a TDEEcalculator.net, I believe it is. There's tons of them, tons of calculators. Go to 3 calculators. If you're really perplexed, you don't know your maintenance calories, put in your current age, current height, current weight, put that you want to maintain. They should give you numbers that are in a ballpark. It might be like one says 2100, one says 2208, and one says 1951, right? Like they're gonna all be within a vicinity. You average those 3 numbers together. Now you've got your maintenance calories as a starting point. Doesn't mean it's correct. It just means I have taken these 3 calculators or my Fitbit device, or if you go to MyFitnessPal, Lose It, and switch to maintenance there, you should be able to figure it out. So the first 2 weeks, becoming aware of your eating behaviors, finding what you're currently eating, finding its impact on your weight. More than likely for most of you, that might be a good way to get the maintenance calories. If not, we move on to the next 2 weeks, which is making sure we have maintenance calories. So now, let's just say you had been eating at 4,000. They say your maintenance calories are 2,500. So for the next 2 weeks, goal number 2 would be for you to eat at 2,500 and see if your weight stays the same. Now we're almost a month in, right? We're about a month into doing this process. Now the reason we also do the first 2 weeks is if you are resistant to calorie tracking, you could have picked a notepad to write down what you were eating. This is going to seriously help you when it comes to making modifications to your eating behaviors. So even if you go, hey Heather, never going to track a calorie, never going to weigh my food, great. That first 2 weeks gives you a lot of information to make improvements. How many snacks and treats are you having? How often are you eating out? What are your portions? Like, are you having 2 servings of oatmeal? Are you having 2 donuts in the afternoons? Like, what does that look like so you can make improvements, right? At the end of the second 2 weeks, you've tested your maintenance calories. You should be locked and loaded. I now can probably walk away and say, okay, I know that 21 whatever is my maintenance because I've tracked it for a couple weeks. I've monitored my weight in Happy Scale, or I did it manually, paper, pencil. You write down your weight every day and you average out your 7-day average. So the first 4 weeks, you're figuring it out. Your own body feedback, nobody else's. Then from there, it's a question of what are you willing to sacrifice. You could take a 10% deficit, a 20% deficit. So if I knew that 2,000 was my maintenance calories and I want to take a 10% deficit, then for the next couple weeks, I might be shooting at eating at 1,800. 10% off 2,000 would be 1,800. If I wanted to lower it a little bit more, which by the way, I wouldn't recommend, but if you chose, that would be 1,600, right? 20% off would be 1,600. You test it for a few weeks, probably about 2 weeks. You'll know for sure. You'll see scale weight coming down, eating at 1,800, eating at 1,600, whatever number you pick. And now you know. You know your maintenance calories, you know what you were doing when you first started, and you know what a deficit looks like for you and what you need to do. Grand total, you're spending about 6 weeks on this process. It is a drop in the bucket when it comes to this process. You're going to be doing this process for years. You're going to be in maintenance the majority of your life, number one. Number two, there's going to be pieces of time where maybe you need to dial back your eating. So you want to know how to take a deficit. So nothing you spend time on in the 6-week time frame is a waste of your time. It's valuable information that's going to help you. No calculator, no device, no recommendation from anyone is going to be better than your biofeedback. What's biofeedback? It's what I take into my body and what my body does as a result of it. So if I'm eating 2,500 calories and my weight stays stable, then I know that's my maintenance range. I know it's within my maintenance range. If I'm eating 5,000 calories a day and my weight's creeping up, I know I'm in a caloric surplus. If I eat at 1,600 and I'm dropping an average of 1.5 pounds a week, I know I'm in a calorie deficit, right? So this is how you create that biofeedback loop. You never really have to ask the question, how do I figure out my calories or which calories are correct? You have to test it on you. That's how you know, because any calculator can tell you anything. If I sign into MyFitnessPal right now and I say I think I want to lose more than 1 pound a week, it's going to tell me 1,200 calories. I am not eating 1,200 calories. I don't care what calculator tells me what they tell me. I'm checking it first. What's my maintenance calories? What kind of a deficit do I want to take? Those are the important questions to ask. So I hope this video is helpful. I wanted to reach out to all community members and make sure they had it all in one place. Number one, just to recap, first 2 weeks, eating how you eat, monitoring your weight for the 14 days while writing down your food. This will help the caloric trackers versus the non-trackers. It doesn't matter. Then the second 2 weeks, testing out maintenance calories. Again, you can use online calculators if you want, as a way to get an average and then move forward from there for 2 weeks, test that. Then second 2 weeks, take 10 to 20% off or whatever you're comfortable with. You may not be comfortable with either one of those numbers. Do what you can do and put yourself in a caloric deficit while monitoring your body weight to see if that's effective. All right, guys, I hope this helps. You have a great day and I'll talk to you soon.